안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 소라입니다.
And I'm Ed, and you're listening to the
마마사 제주 podcast.
So I'd like to welcome all of you to the very first inaugural episode of the Vamos a Jeju podcast. And I thought this would be a great time for both of us to introduce ourselves a little bit more. But before we do that, Sora, I see that you're not home. Where are you?
I am currently in Mexico City, your
Mexico
second
City.
favorite. Yes.
It's my second favorite country.
Yes.
That is exactly right. So why are you in Mexico City?
I'm working with Korean tourist group now. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, well, you've seen my background. I'm also not home. I'm actually in your home. Not your home. I'm in your home city, Jeju. As you may have heard in the introduction, my name is Ed. I'm a Singaporean and I live in Seattle with my family. I am a aspiring polyglot, a lazy home chef, very, very lazy home chef, and a slow traveler who has come to fall in love with this island called Jeju. And how about you, Sora? Could you tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you got here to this point in life?
So like many other Korean, I follow the usual path. I studied hard in high school and I got into a good university and also got into a good corporate job in a well-known company in Korea. But at some point, I found that it was not the life I wanted to have. So by chance, I started working in tourism industry. So I became a tour leader for Korean tourist group since 2016. During pandemic,
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to kind of dig in a little bit more. You mentioned earlier, Sora, that
yeah.
you were in a corporate job, and then at some point you weren't just vibing with that anymore. As a watcher of Korean drama, I just got to ask this, and I'm sure our audience are also thinking, like, is corporate career as challenging and difficult as what we see on K dramas? Is it just fiction, or is it actually an accurate reflection of corporate career? The workplace bullying, the hierarchy, and all that.
I think it is a accurate reflection of the reality.
Oof.
Yeah, because now many things has been changed because I started working there like 2012. Back then, sometimes I worked until 2 a.m. and then had to go back to the office before 8 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. And at night, around 6 p.m., everyone want to go back home. But our group chat, Kakao Talk, right? In the group chat, your boss will text you on the group chat. What do you want for dinner?
Huishik. Oh my goodness. Huishik is, well, can you just tell us what Huishik is?
Huishik is dinner gathering for your team. It's kind of a word.
Right. Yeah. Lots of alcohol, right?
Right. If your boss wants you to drink, then you have to. But nowadays, many things change it. But still, we have these kind of bad custom, I think.
Like, I really get now why it was so difficult for you to stay in your job in corporate career. And so, yeah, let's get caught up to where you were in life at that point. So you've left corporate career and then you took up a job in tourism. Let's get back to that story. Can you just take it from there?
So actually, after I quit my job at the corporate career, and then I traveled like 6 months, and then I started working in travel agency. While working as a tour guide, I found Jeju Island is really beautiful. And then I found it's really attractive to live. That's how I end up with Jeju. And then my partner and I always talk about living in Jeju.
You brought foreign tourists to Jeju. Is that how you ended up coming to Jeju? Or I'm trying to catch up with
Actually, the first thing is I just took a interview with travel agency in Jeju, and then they
Mm.
liked me. They offered me, so I was like, okay, I'm going.
And so I remember when we first met, I had just signed up with my wife, Michelle, for an Airbnb experience. She's a K-drama junkie, and so she obviously has to go to Gyeongbokgung. And I was okay, let's book a tour, and that tour lead guide happened to be you, and that was a really great experience. And I remember we during that tour, we were speaking in English, but then I was also speaking some Spanish and some Korean, and I think we even threw in some Chinese. And I walked away from that tour not so much thinking about Gyeongbokgung, but about how cool that we both could connect with multiple languages. Obviously,
Uh-huh,
my
uh-huh,
Korean wasn't
uh-huh.
good enough, but between the Spanish and the Korean and English and some Chinese, I felt like there is another person there who loves languages. So tell us a little bit more about where you are with languages.
I always wanted to know better about my own language. I'm a native Korean speaker, but sometimes foreign friends ask me about Korean grammar, and I don't know anything about it. So I felt like, oh, I want to study about it. So I just finished my master degree on Korean language teaching as well.
You said that you finished your master's degree in Korean language education. So are you a Korean language teacher as well?
I did during pandemic because tourism stopped that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught Korean, and then it was really fun. And I'm thinking to go back later. Yeah, because now I'm too busy with the work.
So let me just recap for the audience. You're currently living in Jeju and you are currently working in the tourism industry, both for inbound tourists to Jeju as well as to outbound tourists of Koreans to other countries, typically Spanish speaking places in Central and South America. Did I get that right so far?
Right, right. So I usually work in Latin America in winter and spring, autumn. I'm always in Jeju.
I see. And that's for inbound travel.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So I guess we've got the tourism, we've got the living in Jeju. Why did you conceive of this project called Vamos a Jeju?
Because, I travel a lot. I've seen like many tour program like all around the world. And to be a tour guide in Jeju Island, it's beautiful. I love it. And I met like many wonderful people. But sometimes I felt frustrated
Mm-hmm.
because I want to show them more, like more hidden gem and beautiful places in Jeju. But I always have to follow the fixed itinerary of travel agency.
Right. So I just want to say, like, I really love how you prioritize your guests in that way. I remember thinking back to when you were guiding us in Gyeongbokgung, like it wasn't just about going to Gyeongbokgung, and I realized that back then you were actually on your own. You weren't working for an agency, and so you had more
Mm-hmm.
flexibility
Right,
in
right.
advocating for our experience. And so after Gyeongbokgung, you then took us to another place, a local place to eat. We were the only tourists there, and so it was a really a really added value to that whole experience. And then when we thought we were done, and we were walking back, to the subway station, my wife was like, "Oh, I want to get a haircut, but it's our first time in Korea. We don't speak Korean very much," and so you were like right away, you jumped on Naver and then you found us a place where they spoke some English, and you connected my wife Michelle to that hair salon. And so yeah, I just want that's all that is to say that I've really admire you for not just your professionalism but your willingness to go way
Mm-hmm.
beyond to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that the people who travel with you have a really great experience. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think you're the perfect person to start something like Vamos at Jeju.
That's why we started this podcast and my blog to like speak on my own voice and our experience
Mm-hmm.
and to help like other traveler to understand this island more deeply.
So this is what I think I'm hearing. I'm going to attempt to summarize it, and you tell me what I got right and what I got wrong. So,
Uh-huh.
Vamos
Uh-huh.
a Jeju is
Uh-huh.
a online hub for
Uh-huh.
free and independent travelers to discover the rich culture, the serene peace, and the natural beauty of Korea's Jeju Island, so
Uh-huh.
that they come to love Jeju as much as we do. Does that kind of sound right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Cool. So speaking about helping people love Jeju, let's dig deeper into what we love about Jeju. Let's start with you. As someone who lives here in Jeju, what is it that you so love about this place?
First of all, I would say the nature, because like even I'm living in the city, I can go to the beach in 20 minutes. I can go to the forest in 30 minutes. So the natures are always like nearby. I have been living in Seoul for a long time. I mean, not actually Seoul, but greater Seoul, like Gyeonggi-do. So I have some experience of it, and also like vice versa living in Jeju, yeah, we can talk about the major difference about those two cities.
Right. And I think that'll be very fascinating for someone who thinks Seoul equals Korea and Korea equals Seoul.
It's very, very different. It sounds like New York and LA, it's the same.
Yep,
It's
that's
the
two
same?
different places. It is two very crowded places.
All right. Oh, okay. Then not
Yeah,
LA.
maybe New York and
New
Hawaii.
York and Hawaii. New York and
Yes.
Hawaii. Okay.
So I guess you mentioned earlier that you were leading foreign tours. Was that how we first met?
Yeah, that right. Because I started working in Seoul first. So when I worked in Seoul, I met you and then we became friends. And then later I moved to Jeju. Compared to Seoul, because in Seoul, it's hard to get into the nature. Like you have to drive like 2, 3 hours away. But here in Jeju, we can go to the nature every day to see the sunset. So speaking of nature, also it gives me more like relaxed lifestyle because again, compared to Seoul, we were very busy when we lived in Seoul. And in Jeju, we live more in a slow paced life, the island time. And also, I feel that when I'm in Seoul for work, my anxiety level goes up. And then when I came back to Jeju, it's going down. And my partner always told me that don't go to Seoul because I become so like anxious. And the last thing, most important thing is the air quality and also the pollution. Because in Seoul, you're gonna see like lots of people wearing a mask. Like especially in spring, people wear like mask every day because of the pollution and also the yellow dust. But when we are in Jeju, not many people wearing mask because, and I always open the window because the air quality is always good here. What about you?
I really resonate with all of that. For me as a traveler, yeah, I guess it's a lot of the stuff that you like about Jeju are also things that I like about Jeju. So, for me, top of mind is that I can hop on a bus and like you said, 20 minutes, 30 minutes east or west, you're in the countryside, you're at a beach, you're in a forest or an aurum, which is like the translation is a parasitic cone, but I think it's just really a secondary,
Small mountain.
yeah, small extinct volcano that's part of a bigger volcano. So I guess call it a small volcano. Or it looks like a hill actually, but there's like
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of these all around Jeju. Yeah, so like a
368.
368. So our tour guide knows her facts. All these are very close to Jeju City, and so it's really convenient. And then another thing that I really like about Jeju is that it really reminds me of Hawaii. As a much younger person,
Uh-huh.
I used to be a dive master in the town of Kailua Kona on the island of Hawaii. That's called the Big Island, and it's also the youngest island. And so there were two big volcanoes in the middle of Hawaii. Sitting here in Jeju right now, I'm looking out my window. I see Halasan, which is basically the big volcano in the middle of Jeju. I'm actually looking at it right now. It really reminds me of my time in Hawaii. But
Mhm.
not just Halasan. It is the beaches, and you've got mostly white sand beaches here, but also some black sand beaches. If you spend some time walking the coast, you see all this lava rock. This
Mhm.
solidified lava, black swirls, and it's all jagged, and it's beautiful. And again, reminds me of the Big Island. You get a lot more value here, and so you get 80% of Hawaii for maybe 30% of the cost. So as a traveler, it really resonates with me. And then another piece to that is I like that it is just 1 hour away from a major international city like Seoul. You don't have to fly for 6, 7 hours to get to a place like Hawaii. It's just 1 hour away. It's just really amazing that you can get all that in one little place like this. So for all those reasons, I love Jeju. It's got all the high-tech metropolis feel of a regular Korean city, but beautiful, beautiful nature that's like Hawaii, 20, 30 minutes away from the city by bus. So I guess since this is our first episode, this would be a great time to give our audience a sense of what they can expect from the two of us in the next few episodes. And in keeping with your aspirations, Sora, of helping other people discover the real Jeju that we both know and love, maybe we should talk through what some of the episodes may look like.
We have episode for haenyeo, which is a woman diver in Jeju Island. They go to dive without oxygen, like free diving, and then harvest seafood. So they go dive from 5 meter like till 20 meter, and they can hold their breath like 2 minutes.
So I think haenyos have really come into the world's consciousness, not just because of the UNESCO designation, but also because of it's been in several K dramas, and you always see them wearing their orange and black wetsuits, and so they become pretty iconic and representative of Jeju. So episode that we were thinking of covering is the Jeju Olleh Trail. And I am in Seoul, the southern city of Jeju right now, because I came to get my certificate for having completed the whole 437 kilometers of the Jeju Olleh Trail. And if you hear some degree of pride in my voice, trust your instincts. It is a huge accomplishment for me. It is not as long as the Camino de Santiago in France, Portugal, and Spain. But for me personally, it's been quite the experience. And so yeah, I would love to be able to share with our audience more about the Jeju Olleh Trail. What are the best trails? What's the best places to eat at along the trail? And various other insider tips.
You know that not many Jeju people finish that Olleh Trail. Not many, because I haven't. The next episode is shamanism. Because
That is going to be awesome.
do you like shamanism?
I like the idea of shamanism.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to jinx myself. Like I was gonna say I don't really believe in it. But then I don't want to get cursed or something like that. So but the idea of shamanism really fascinates me.
So Jeju is one of the reason that we still have lots of shamanism because, when the woman diver, haenyeo, goes to work or a fisherman goes to work, they always take their risk. So they needed someone to rely on. So that's why shamanism gets like bigger in Jeju. And actually, we still have many ritual of shamanism. So the shaman was the one who do the ritual for 영등 할망. It's gonna get
Halmang is
long.
grandmother. I don't know what the first two words are.
영등 is the wind, goddess of the wind. So we have the ritual
Okay,
every year, every February for the goddess of the wind.
I see.
And also like many different ritual for the goddess. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that Jeju shamanism is really tied into the very fiber of Jeju, and it's tied to the haenyeo culture, but also the whole foundational myth of Jeju.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's still truly alive to this very day.
Right. And even now, some like older generation and also like young generation, if they buy a new house or new car, they call a shaman to bless the house or the car. And if the kids are sick, sometimes they take them to the shaman. It's still happening.
Yeah, and that is not just in Jeju; it's also on the mainland of Korea, right?
Yes, but I think more in Jeju.
Okay. And now, here's the part of the show where we share some essential Korean phrases that will be really helpful for your trip to Jeju and, of course, the rest of Korea. We call it Handy Korean with Sora Sam.
Wow!
Self praise international disgrace. Sora, what is the first thing we're going to share with our audience today?
Of course, we need to know how to say hello, right? So in Korea, when you meet someone, we say 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Of
안녕하세요.
course, for you, it's easy because you've been in Korea many times. But for the first visit, it's hard to remember. So for them, I usually tell them just remember onion and then 하세요. And then put them together like more fast, like 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. Because
And
Koreans mumble a lot. So
yes, and actually, I was telling you that Michelle and I have a friend. His name is Michael from the UK, and not just the United Kingdom, but from Wales, part of the United Kingdom. And so he speaks with an accent that is very Welsh, and the way he remembers 안녕하세요 is onion, like you said, and then Han Solo from Star Wars. But the way he says Han Solo is a bit different, so it ends up coming out as 안녕 Han Solo, 안녕 Han
mhm,
Solo, and
mhm,
then he'll bow and go like 안녕 Han
mhm.
Solo. It sounds very good. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So onion Han Solo, but say it fast and
Mhm,
mumble like you were saying.
mhm, mhm,
So 안녕 Han Solo.
mhm. Yeah, just make it fast and mumble, then it sounds really, really Korean.
So that
안녕하세요.
is so that is saying hello, but what do
Mhm.
we say when we want to say goodbye?
So goodbye is a little more difficult than hello. So we have two different versions of goodbye. So one is you stay well, and the other one is you go well. We say those two different things. 안녕히 가세요. 가세요 means to go. So we say you go well. 안녕히 가세요. And then 계세요 means stay. So we say 안녕히 계세요. You stay well. But also you have some tip for this, right?
Yeah, so the way I used to I teach my friends, if you cannot remember 안녕히 가세요 and 안녕히 계세요, just kind of like do the k for 가세요 or 계세요, just go 계세요. But and then very important, you need to mumble. So there will be like
Mhm.
onion again.
Mhm.
Oniony is this is very
Mm.
oniony. It's like a very
Mhm.
oniony taste. So 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히
Mhm.
계세요. It's
Mhm.
like it's okay. The context, the
Mhm.
Koreans will figure it out with the context, and then most likely they'll say, "Oh, you speak such good Korean." Yeah, they go like,
Yeah.
한국어 잘하시네요. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, so
Mhm.
it's 안녕 한솔로 and 안녕히 계세요.
Yeah. So I think
But what does
if
안녕 mean? What does the 안녕 mean?
안녕. 안녕 means like in peace or well,
Mm-hmm.
stay well in peace. So if you are old enough, you can just say 안녕.
Right. Or if you're saying it among friends, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
Right.
Casual way.
And at the end of this episode and on end of all our future episodes, you'll hear us say 안녕, but
Mhm.
don't say that when you go to a restaurant or any
Mhm.
place because you're
Mhm.
strangers.
Mhm.
It's that is too casual. So don't say
Mhm.
what we say later.
안녕. It's like between friends.
Yeah,
If
or
you
to
know
little
each other
children. Oh
already.
yeah.
Mhm. Right.
Mm.
Mhm. But the thing is, if you're a foreigner, if you say 안녕, they will be just like, oh, those foreigners are cute. It's fine. It's okay.
That's awesome. Well, if you like to see the phrases that we just covered today, 안녕하세요 and
안녕하세요.
Eoni
안녕하세요.
계세요, and check out our show notes. So if today's show has gotten you thinking, maybe I should check out Jeju, we've got something for you. We've taken everything that Sora and I know about visiting Jeju as a DIY traveler and put it into a 14-part email series. And if you're thinking, why 14 parts? That's a lot, because we know a lot and we want to share it all.
So to get that email straight to your inbox, just sign up at vamosajeju.com/start. And for the latest update, you can follow us Vamos a Jeju on Instagram, TikTok, and also the Facebook group. And finally, the best way for a new podcast like ours to grow is organically. So if you found this episode helpful, please share with your friends. And who knows, maybe we will Vamos a Jeju together.
And with that, all that's left for us to say is 안녕!
안녕!
한스로! Get all our latest articles, videos, and resources on Jeju DIY travel culture and history at vamosajeju.com. That's VAMOSAJEJU.com. If you would like to get updates about Jeju or even Korea sent straight to your email, sign up for our dispatches at vamosajeju.com/update. And finally, the best way for a new podcast like this to grow is organically. So if you found this episode helpful, please share us with a friend. And who knows, maybe you'll Vamos a Jeju together this year. The Vamos a Jeju podcast is part of the Passport Optional Network.